Sienna's film, American Woman, in cinemas and digital tomorrow. Okay, so you can watch it via your digital devices, and that's how I watched it, and my wife watched it last night, and she watched it again with me. I mean, that's not bad, is it?
That's great.
That's a big tick in the
Yeah,
box.
that's a
And
massive
she's got to get up with the twins at like silly o'clock in the morning, and she still stayed up to watch it.
What a lady.
She's awesome.
I love her.
No, Layer Cake 2004. That was brilliant. 15 years ago now.
Oh my God.
15.
Wait, shush.
I know. It's
Damn it.
ridiculous. You've done some brilliant things. You've picked some fantastic projects. You're just fresh off the back of the Russell Crowe miniseries as well.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
With a big face.
Okay, big face. He had a big everything.
He had a big everything, yeah.
So how old is the character you played in that film?
I think she started off at 35 and
Yep.
she went to probably late 50s, early 60s.
How was that?
Great.
Any sort of insight into your own future there?
I mean, we did check. You know, I hope not. No offense. Yeah.
Did you download any apps that the 20-year-older apps?
I've done that.
How'd you look?
I look like quite annoying somehow, quite sort of hippie.
Yeah.
When I was a boy, I looked a little River Phoenix, which made me extremely happy.
Okay.
We should do one.
You take that.
See.
So you've seen Joker. We talked about Joker. You've
Yeah,
seen
we
Joker.
did, yes.
How did you see Joker? Where did you see
I
it?
saw it in New York at the cinema.
Okay, so you went and paid and played.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
The biggest October box office weekend for years.
I mean, it made $100 million domestic.
$115 million in the first weekend.
Oh my God.
That's not terrible business, and apparently it wasn't that expensive to make. So it's a big tick in everybody's box,
Yeah.
or all their boxes. What did you think of it?
I thought I could watch him forever doing anything. I just think
I
he
agree.
is the most compelling, exciting actor in the world. So I wouldn't have minded seeing more of the world around it, but as a performance, he's just incredible.
Philip Seymour Hoffman for me,
Yes, greatest ever.
as well. So
Yeah.
you can get on a Seymour Hoffman binge, but you can get now on a Joaquin Phoenix binge.
You can
can't
watch The Master with both of them in it.
quite easily.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy that I really love? He was in the Laurel and Hardy film with Steve Coogan.
Oh, he's so good. John C. Reilly.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So good.
There's the three. I mean, I would say get in a film with those three, but you can't. You get in a film with two of them.
I
Still,
can
can't
get
you?
it. Yeah.
Now, talking about that, I've heard whispers that you fancy a bit of a production life. You've been looking at reading lots and lots of stories,
Reading books.
trying to find out whether there's anything lurking that might be worthy of a pitch
Of
to someone.
producing, yeah. I think that's the time. It's definitely a good time for women in that town to start making things. And I have to get myself together and really start doing it. But I'm reading novels, then you option a book, and then you develop a script, and then you can produce it. Not necessarily for myself, but I like the idea of making things.
Have you reached stage 2 yet? Have you optioned?
I am in the process. I found out about rights,
Right.
and they are available.
How does
This is the nascent stages.
And so what do you do next?
So then you think, God, oh wow, now I might have to commit to this.
How much?
Do I see? They weren't crazy at all, and so that part's fine. But then you have to figure out, is it actually a film, and who's going to write it, and
who's really good at this?
who's going to give me the money?
Is Reese Witherspoon's really good at this?
She's
isn't
a pro at it.
she?
yeah.
So what has she done? I mean, I could name a few, but you could probably name more.
She just did what was it, Big Little Lies?
Yeah, she did that. But she's done movies as
Legally
well.
Blonde was probably the first thing that she produced, and 1, 2, 3 of them.
Right.
And probably has the intellectual property for the show that made a fortune in England.
Do you know her?
I do.
Do you know her really well?
I know her well enough to call her up and say, how do I produce a film?
So this is where we're getting
Or,
to.
you know what, can I just be in one of yours and not have to do it?
That was my question. Has
Yeah.
she told you how to do it?
No.
Oh!
Not yet, but I haven't reached... I mean, everyone in that town knows each other. It's very villagey once you...
Where do you live? Do you live here or there?
I live in New York.
Do you?
Neither, yeah.
Oh, in between.
I'm between.
In betweeny.
Yeah.
Okay, so how come New York beat Los Angeles?
Because I like to walk around and I like seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm in that town, I don't notice any time passing. I think you suddenly wake up and you've been there for 6 years and everything's... I mean, I'm sure it's a great way of life, but not to be in a car
So
all
you
day.
live in New York.
I live in New York.
Back to where you were born.
I know, but London's home. Every time I come back, I feel I get these pangs of missing.
Just talk briefly about your character once again in American Woman. She smokes a lot.
She does.
And you seem to be very good at it still.
Well, it's like riding a bike.
How long have you not smoked for in real life? And how long did you have to
Don't
smoke?
ask me that question. You're out. I did have a fag last night.
Well, that's all right. But
I have the
generally,
odd one.
generally, how long have you not smoked for?
About a year.
Oh, so not that long.
No.
All right. When did you...
I mean, it cut down. Obviously, it cut
so
down.
So hang on. So you were still smoking when you were making this film, anyway?
On and off.
Was it because you had to smoke so many fags
Yeah, it was
making
just
this
method
film?
acting. I was method acting.
No, but maybe that's because in Alan Carr's book. The most successful book ever written on how to give up smoking. One of the things you have to do is smoke loads at the beginning of the book.
As you're reading it, yeah.
And then you've got to smoke like 20 cigarettes at once, and then you've got to put them all out, and you've got to leave them next to your bed whilst you go to sleep, so they're there in the morning. So basically he makes you hate cigarettes.
Not the ashtray. Do you have to leave the grubby old ashtray
You have
by
to
the
eat
bed?
the ashtray.
Eat the ashtray.
You have to then rub it on your hair just after you've washed your hair.
Wash your face with
Things
it.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I was just thinking maybe this was it. Maybe this was what pushed you over the edge.
No, it doesn't help. I also did a play where I had to smoke. For some reason, I always get those parts. I wouldn't call myself a smoker anymore, but I have the odd one.
The odd puff.
And a Nicorette. I was doing the e-cigarette. I was on the Juul, but now apparently it chemically burns your lungs.
Right.
So
Had you not had this show to do today, would you have stayed at your premiere party for longer?
Yes.
I feel terrible because
yes.
look at the Maleficent boys.
Yeah, that's 2.
Oh, did they leave theirs early?
They left theirs early as well. Their premiere was
guys.
last night.
And of all the people, you would have loved everybody rolling in from a night before.
Yes.
I can't really do it and function.
I
I have
think-
other things after this as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, 1 o'clock is no mean effort for a Wednesday for a school night. How much sleep did you get?
You just out of me. How much sleep?
Yeah,
I've had 5.5 hours.
that's loads, isn't it?
Yeah, it's low.
That's
quite
enough.
good. More than we've had for about 10 years.
2 nights sleep
What's it
for
like?
us.
What's it
I mean,
like?
when we're
Five
all
and a half.
parents,
Five
it's
and a
fine.
half.
Yeah.
We can run marathons quicker in less time.
We could have run a marathon while you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do next today?
I think I've got some more radio than I've got this morning, and then I've got Graham Norton
With Philly Willoughby.
with Philip Willoughby. Yes.
Okay,
Philly Willoughby.
Give our love to those guys
I
and
will.
Graham. And I can tell you, honestly, it's 1 hour 40, I think your movie is in the
Yeah.
end, 1 hour 42, something like that. You will not go wrong. You will not regret giving those hours and those minutes to this movie.
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.